we're talking to Alana McLaughlin, and she's talking about some of the activities that are involved in the commemoration of the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. Now, Alana, one of the things that I think is important, and you might be able to sort of give us some information in reference to, is some of the reading situations that that you find in your ability to be able to deal with your reading. Do you have any problems reading, and what are some of the challenges that you see in your reading experiences?
Actually, I don't have any problems when I read. The only problem I have when I read is I need focus. Just put all my attention on the book that I'm reading. Just put all of them. Cause see, when I'm reading to the class, I have to put my eyes on the book, and I have to concentrate and face them, and just really give my concentration to the book or the story. Or
do you read to the class often in your school experiences?
Yes and no. Because sometimes we share, because we write in our writer's notebooks, and sometimes we share those stories, and we do that pretty often. So I think, yes, we do share often.
And so with what we're saying about in the Civil War here, you will be able to go back to your school and talk to some of your friends about this Civil War and about Harriet Tubman. And what would you tell them about Harriet Tubman from what your experiences are?
Well, when I go back, you know, I would go to some of my friends and say, hey Trinity, hey Alicia, hey Bernicia, let's talk about the sesquicentennial or the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. And, you know, they would know completely what I mean, because they're pretty smart girls. Like, from Trinity Owens to Alicia Kennedy to Bernicia Lake, they're all like my friends, and they're pretty smart like me. They're
still all smart, and they're all into the Civil War, yes. And all of you will be able to perhaps know more about Harriet Tubman and some of these other great women who played a real role in the Civil War. Is that it? Yes. Now, what has your mother done in terms of trying to bring you about in terms of your reading ability?
Well, sometimes she takes me to the bookstore to buy books. And then when I was in the bookstore, I came across this book called Among the Ghosts. You know, I flipped through it, read the teaser, and said, hey, Mom, I want this book. So she said, okay, let's buy it. So I got it. And then when I flipped to the back page, I noticed that Amber Benson was Tara McClay on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show, and I was like, I watch that show all the time, and I recognize that face. You recognize,
and you know the characters, the author of that book. Is that yes. What you're saying? How do you happen to know the author of that book?
Because she started as Tara McClay on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the show, and I watch that show not often, but occasionally.
And it's and so now she puts it out in a book and for children, to young children to read. And are there many books like that you know of?
Yes, because this is the first book I've come upon that I know the author. I've heard of authors like David Shannon or all that, but this is the first real book that I came across that I know the author from seeing her on TV.
Mm-hmm. And so you happen to know the authors of a number of books. Not only do you know try to get the information, but you try to remember the authors and the series and etc. And they've got a lot of series in your school?
Yes, they have a bunch of series like The Magic School Bus. I can know David, all the David books by David Shannon. All those books, they have a bunch of series of them, like science books, science pages. They have a bunch of series in my library.
And so all of you have an opportunity at a certain time to go yes. to the library and read.
If we ask our teacher, we can go down to the library and pick out a number of books. Only if we return our books, because we have to take responsibility and be respectful of the books because they cost money.
And so